Good afternoon, Zoraida. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Thank you, Diana. So good to be here with you.
Likewise. We're here for a very short but also comprehensive Venus retrograde reading. And so, just before I start, I'm going to go over your big three really quickly. So, I have you as Aries Sun,
Hmm.
Leo Moon, and Cancer Rising.
Yes.
For this reading, we're going to talk a little bit about the rebirth that Venus is doing as part of its ongoing cycle. And just a brief recap for you. I know you already know astrology, but just a recap for anyone who's watching this video. Venus has been moving through the sign of Aries. And on March 1st, Venus stopped and stationed. Okay, looks like it stopped and paused, slow down, slow enough to look like it was pausing, and stationed at 10 degrees and 50 minutes of Aries on March 1st. And then Venus is going to continue to move backwards out of Aries and back into the zodiac sign of Pisces until it gets to 24 degrees of Pisces on April 13th. And then on April 13th, Venus is going to stop again, and then it's going to appear as though it's moving forward from our vantage point until it clears the path that it was on, backtracking between Aries and Pisces. So on May 17th is when Aries is going to be fully out of the retrograde path when Venus gets to 11 Aries. Okay.
Hmm.
So before we look at how this Venus transit is impacting you and what it means, I wanted to talk to you briefly about Mars. And it's because when I was looking at your chart, first of all, you know that Mars recently turned direct. Like about 2 weeks ago, Mars finally turned direct after its extensive retrograde through Leo and Cancer.
Yes.
You're a Cancer rising, and Mars is in your first house of self right now at 17 degrees of Cancer. And what I thought was so interesting is that the sun in your ninth house in Pisces, so the sun is in Pisces in your ninth house right now, and it is actually sending a trine. It's sending what's called an aspect of support to Mars in your first house. Okay, so you have your ninth house, which is your house of big ideas. I love that. I got it from an astrologer named Tumi. So in your ninth house, the sun is in your ninth house of big ideas, and it's sending support to you in your Mars in your first house of self, physical appearance, identity. I also noticed that Mars in Cancer by transit is squaring your natal Mercury in Aries at 17 degrees. Did you know that?
I think we're American. I think Mercury is 17 degrees today.
So Mercury is actually, hold on, Mercury is actually at 5 degrees of Aries. I'm looking down here at the Mercury's down here at 5 degrees. But Mars and the sun are both at 17 degrees, and Mars is speaking directly to your Mercury. And so when I looked at that, I was just like, you're preparing to speak about something you're passionate about this weekend, which was
That's right.
on point because you're speaking this weekend. And what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the three pillars of nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
So
I'm passionate about.
something that you're very passionate about and something that's impacted you personally, including your
Yes.
physical, your first house, yourself.
Yes.
So I'm just like, the timing is just so on point. So I said this was a perfect transition at this point to look at what the Venus retrograde is doing and what that lesson or story is for you, because Venus is also in your career and vocation house right now. Okay. So with transit Venus in Aries in your 10th house, for a brief recap, Venus represents what we draw in, what we attract, how we connect.
Hmm.
Venus represents the vibration of love, creativity. Venus also represents woman, typically yin energy, more
Yeah.
feminine energy, but it's in a warrior sort of, we call it the Xena warrior princess area.
Yeah.
It also,
That means I wear a dress with boots.
right, or you wear red with spikes, right? Like I could totally see, like I have a visual of a Venus and Aries outfit for you right now. And that's actually inspiration for maybe something you should wear like while you're presenting this weekend. Um, but yeah, maybe like not on screen, but somewhere off screen. But Venus also represents friends and it can also represent sisters. So I was looking at your chart. I was like, okay, so Venus in Aries draws in to your career house, your vocation house. This is the 10th
Mhm.
house through Aries themes. So what are Aries themes? How do you show up as Aries, a Venus in Aries? By being inspiring, by taking initiative,
Mhm.
by being passionate,
Yeah.
theory, talking about the first that you've achieved, taking a leap of faith, being bold,
Yeah, I've
and,
been doing that.
and embracing new beginnings. So how has that been? Because Venus has been in your 10th house now for a couple of weeks. So how has that been showing up for you?
Oh my God, everywhere.
Okay.
Literally everywhere. Um, I just got news a couple of days ago that I got a full scholarship to participate in a 12-week accelerator program, which helps me catapult my business, right?
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Yesterday, I got notice that I got a full scholarship for a writing program with the Op-Ed organization. 2 days in June to help me be a better, more efficient, more passionate, more engaging writer. These are the things that are happening that are just blowing me away. Tomorrow I have the speaking engagement where I'm going to be part of 300 plus women, amazing women who are going to be talking about all different topics. Um, I've got one of my besties coming in from New York who's staying with me at the end of this month. So there goes love and relationships, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of networking. So I've been meeting a lot of like-minded people, right? Your energy and your aura attracts the people that are associated with that. And so, um, someone introduced me to someone, and then she said, "Hey, do you want to meet at this hotel?" And I said, "Sure." And I went there yesterday, didn't know her, didn't know anyone. And I came out with so many business cards and people who are like, I think there's synchronicity here. I love what you're doing. I love what they're doing. Let's have a Zoom call and see how we can support each other. And it was just 30 women just just connecting, not not anything else but connection. And I'm exhausted, but I am like in my glory this week because I've been saying yes. And you know I get afraid. I'm in a new town, I'm meeting new people, I don't know who, but I'm just going with my gut and what my heart is telling me. And I'm listening to, do I feel safe?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm in a new town, in a new state. um, but again, my energy and my aura are attracting the right people. So I am like really embracing my spirituality and just knowing that my angels and God has me, like they got me, and they're bringing all these people so then I could decide what I'm going to do because I'm in love with all of this. This is all things that I'm in love with.
Yes. I first of all, thank you because you put me right. You're right on my notes. One of the things you said I wanted to mention to you. First of all, this is spectacular for
Yeah.
demonstrating what's happening when you have an angular Venus transit. So
Hmm.
Venus is showing up and spreading love and goodness and drawing in the
Yeah.
new beginnings, new feminine contacts,
Yeah.
potential support in
Yeah.
your 10th house, right? And this is Venus up here. And then also the other thing I said, we're talking when you mentioned support, Venus up here at 10 degrees, I think Venus is still at 10 degrees of Aries, is also looking and communicating with these planets in Leo in your second house of support and resources, right? You went and did
Mhm.
a new thing, the Leo moon and the Mars together, right? Go and do a new thing, and then you come out with these wonderful, warm, and hopefully like long lasting contacts from
Yeah.
yeah, just going with your intuition of following after your heart. That's perfect.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I'll be monetizing from this.
Yes, yes.
So I actually got bad news, right? This week, I applied for a job as an executive assistant to the chairman of the board. This
Mhm,
is something that I did in my past career as an executive assistant to the C-suite. And
mhm,
I'm in a small town, and I come from New York, right? So I'm in a small town. I apply for this job. I go through the interviews with the recruiter. She asked me to complete many tests on typing. Now, it was redundant, but it was typing, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. I spent like 6 hours at least,
mhm.
and I got an email yesterday that said, you know what? He hired someone and I never got to meet him. And when I got that email, I was annoyed and I was like, you know, I'm a big fish in a little pond. What the heck? Like, are you people, are you out of your mind? And then I said,
You did all that work.
and then I went, okay, let's reframe,
Hmm.
right? I wasn't really didn't really want the job, right? Because it's not aligned with my mission, and my mission is nutrition coaching and cancer coaching. And this is just falling back on my old talent, right? To make money, right? To pay my rent and send my kid to college. Secondly, I'm not interested in going back to corporate America. Um, and I said, most importantly, I'm being guided by
Yeah,
spirit. Look at
yeah,
all the other things that are happening this week. And look, I haven't made any money since 2020. And I've been applying for jobs and applying for jobs that I'm overqualified because I'm also a certified project manager.
yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm being guided. I just need to continue to trust that source has got me.
That sounds like the Sun and Mars together in Pisces and Cancer. Is
Yeah,
you using your spiritual strength and your intuition
I'm
to just
trying.
follow after what you know is meant for you. I
Yeah.
love that.
But
And
it's really difficult because
yes,
I was brought up with an agnostic mother, never been religious, been spiritual for the last 5 years, and I've got to trust that I can pay my bills next month and that I'll be taken care of. And
yeah,
so that's one of the things that I've been worrying about.
yeah,
But I have to, and I do all these, I work with all these modalities to maintain that good mental health whenever I'm feeling stress about it, like, sound work, sound healing and breath work and meditation and yoga and going for walks and dancing like nobody's watching or let them watch. But you
right,
know what I mean? I do
yeah,
all these
yeah.
things so that I can shift my mindset. And yesterday, when this happened with this recruiter, I said, Zoraida, you're being guided. You just have to, and this is what my spiritual teacher tells me, you just have to surrender, surrender to spirit that they've got me.
I love that because yesterday we were in the middle of a first quarter moon in Gemini.
Mhm.
So that moon was
You,
here in your 12th house
I
and
felt it.
the sun here, and you're like, I'm relying on what's hidden, this information that might be hidden to me, but I'm obviously feeling it, that there's information, communication that's coming that is going to be more like aligned with what you actually want. So Yeah, that's what I'm getting from listening to you talk about having to make that decision. But also, Zoraida, I love that you're talking about this, because one of the things where you mentioned there's a lot coming in for you. You're drawing
Hmm.
in opportunities, resources, new contacts,
Yeah.
speaking engagements, all of this in line with your ninth house, big dreams and goals around cancer coaching
Yeah.
and nutrition and just basically helping to heal people. So,
Yeah.
one of the things I paid attention to, keep paying attention to what is not aligned with you. So when it's time for Venus to move back into Pisces, which Venus is going to do around April 13th, or we'll move back to 24 degrees of Pisces by that point, to let go, surrender, do what you're talking about right now, let it go. So when
Let it
it's
go.
time for Venus to station and move direct again, you know what you're taking with you back into that vocation and career house. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Because my spiritual teacher keeps telling me that not just for me, but for everyone, that it's not going to look like the way we think it's going to look like. And that's okay. And so just say yes. If it feels good and your heart is all in it, say yes and see where it goes. And, I'm a mind and ego person, I'm an Aries. So
Yeah.
I like to know every step of the way. I'm a certified project manager. I mean, it makes sense, but
Mhm.
I've got to rely on the other aspects of me, like my feelings and my intuition and my heart. And that's really tough for me because I have a lot of karma and a lot of trauma in, well, look at my Chiron. I have a lot of trauma in my Venus, the 12th house. That's where my generational traumas come from. Um, well, actually, it's Gemini, and I felt that yesterday. Um, I felt it today too. But today I worked through it, and I came out victoriously.
Yeah. That same Jupiter that's in your 12th house right now is the same Jupiter that governs your ninth house, right? That Jupiter that
Mhm.
wants to see you realize your dream around coaching,
Yeah,
around managing clients, around just again healing in general. So, yeah, trust that. It's
I see that
definitely.
with the 29 degree
Hmm.
because that's the highest degree. That's like master. That's master. I'm like, I'm gonna be I'm becoming a master. Oh, I'm trying to become a master.
It certainly feels that way, just in terms of every time, again, when I talk to you and listen to just how you have, how you are inspiring, um, yeah, just the way you move and just the way that you're moving now and the opportunities that are coming in for you. It's giving like, it's interesting because I was thinking about the Mars recording we did together and how
Hmm.
you talking about how that moving through fear and moving those energetic blocks and how you had no choice because we're being activated to
Yeah,
up and to move into those leadership roles. And I just love how this Aries season is showing you the seeds of those new beginnings for you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really
And
powerful.
look, the fear's still there, no doubt, right? The fear still comes up. It's like that ball in the pool that you keep trying to put your hand down on it, and then it comes out and it smacks you in the face, and now you're all wet. But I'm learning to just surrender to it, release all those feelings that do not work, and then reframe that, work to do that. But
Yes.
like you said, this is my time because I've had it's been rough.
Yeah.
It's been rough. I mean, I took chemo for 13 years and I was like, source, where are you? Like, when are you going to help me with this? And I just feel like now's the time, but it also feels here like it's the right time. Like, it feels like, thank you. It's coming. It's here. I'm in the middle of it, but I don't know it, right? I can't see it, but
Yeah.
I know that I'm in the midst of it. I just don't know it yet.
Yes. Yes. And then also just there's so many I have so many thoughts I wanted to share with you, but um oh yeah, also pay attention to when we're talking about the things that you are letting go of. Um The other houses I want you to just think about during this retrograde is your 11th house of gains. The 11th house isn't just our friends groups and our support, it's the gains that we make from the 10th house career. So pay attention to what's coming up for you in that's aligned, because that's going to help show where these gains are coming from in the 11th house, because this is also ruled by Venus, right? Even though she can't see Taurus from the 11th, from the the 10th house here, but
Hmm.
she's still giving support. And then the fourth house, right? Because Venus
Mm,
is
family.
Libra. So what changes, or what is being revisited when it comes to home life, home dynamic, or that inner self, right? The balance, because you use the fourth house as a representation of your inner self as Libra, and what has
Yeah.
been changing about you internally,
Oh,
light of
ooh,
all the
so much.
stuff that's coming up. You mentioned it before I hit record, so we don't have to go back into it again. But
Oh, I don't
I was
remember.
thinking about when you were talking about all of the inner work. I want to say, like,
Oh,
just the inner work that you've been doing, and
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so it actually came to this beautiful place today with relationships, with family, right? Because, your relationship with your family, it is what it is.
Mhm.
And when you're moving through your own traumas and your own karma, um, people who are closest to you do, and you have those long-term relationships with, do not understand where you're coming from. They're like, oh, you've changed, right?
That's what.
Um, and so I've recognized that in my past life, um, when I spoke up, I was killed. And so in my childhood, as I was speaking up, I was told to shut up. I was told to, who do you think you are? Nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. And so I was having a hard time as an adult, showing up for myself and asking for what I needed. And so today, it just felt right. I've been pondering something for about a month, and it just felt right to send that text. And I wanted to send it with the right tone of love, but
Mhm.
also to say communication, honesty, respect is very important to me. And this is how I want us to communicate going forward. And when you didn't do that in our last communication, that hurt me. And I felt unseen and it didn't feel good. And this is someone that I revere to because she's my parent and I love her. Um, and I know what was going on in her head, like, what the fuck, this girl, she's always, But I was like, no, I have to sit in my sovereignty. This is who I am. I'm all about being authentic is one of my core values for me and personally, but also for my business. I'm a coach.
Yeah,
So I need, my family doesn't know me as a coach. They know me. And when I say family, I'm talking about siblings and mother. They only know me as a finance project manager, right? So it's two different skill sets. And so I'm trying to teach them how to relate to me because I am no longer that person that would tolerate the communication and the behavior. So today I stood in my ground without well, with fear, but without aggression, with more assertiveness and with love. More, and so I was so proud of myself. So I know that everything that's happening in my chart, this was right on time. And so I have all the support, like you said, I have all the support. And I'm feeling so adult. I'm feeling like, wow, I just hit a major milestone.
yay.
And even at my age, you can learn something new. You can change your mindset.
Yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful.
I mean, I have literally, again, nothing else to say. This has been, um, all I would say is, please, I want to hear more. So keep me posted on everything that's happening during this
I
retro
love to.
for you, because it's a rebirth. It's a
It is a
rebirth. There's
rebirth.
a lot that we are ending in Pisces and bringing out into Aries. And
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of those previews now. So
Yeah.
keep me posted. Keep taking care of yourself. Thank
Thank you. I
you
will.
for helping to inspire me. I'm looking forward
Oh,
to hearing about your talk this weekend. I know it's gonna be fire.
thank
And
you.
so yeah, and next time we meet, hopefully you'll agree to do a Mercury retrograde video with me so we could talk about the messages, right? We're talking about the connections and the love and the creativity that we're seeing rebirthed, some of it left behind in Pisces, and then some of it reborn in Aries. And then we'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit about the Mercury retrograde as well, hopefully together.
Yeah,
So
I love to.
excellent. So thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap our recording.
Thank you very much.